Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sidela and this is Being Sidela, where I talk about a lot of things. I talk about mostly life in China, college life, and anything in between. So for that and more, please make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications. So today I'm going to try and answer some questions that I got on my Instagram this year, last year, to do with Chinese. If you don't already follow me on my Instagram, you should. Link is in the bio. Is it bio or description box? So some of the questions were, do we have two calendars in China? Do we celebrate New Year twice? Do we use the same calendar as the rest of the world? Obviously I am not Chinese. But I happen to know a lot about China because I stay there and I do have a genuine interest in Chinese culture. So fact check me if I'm mistaking some of the things here, and there's some things that I happen to be missing. Please make sure you let me know. Then, do we have two calendars in China? Yes, we do have two calendars in China. In China, we use the Gregorian calendar, which is what the rest of the world uses. Also have the lunar calendar, which happens to govern the traditional Chinese holidays like the New Year. And it's not just in China where we have our own calendar, but countries like Ethiopia, India also happens to have their own calendars. And then, do we celebrate New Year twice? Yes and no. Yes, the 1st of January is a day off. Attention is mainly given to Chinese New Year because it's very important. So basically the 1st of January is like that middle child. It's there, but no one really cares. No shade if you're a middle child. It is the Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year doesn't have a fixed day. What happens is we follow the moon's rotation, so it usually falls between the period of January 21st and February 20th. Is on the 12th of February, and according to Chinese zodiac, this year happens to be the year of the ox. Last year was the year of the rat. Very good. So, and the next year will be the year of the monkey. One of the most fascinating things, hands down, is obviously Chinese astrology. We have 12 animals which represent the Chinese zodiacs, which are called Sheng Xiao. Forgive me for my pronunciation. Sheng is like birth, then Xiao means resemblance, birth resemblance, and those zodiacs. So the 12 animals in order are, I'm gonna read them out: rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat or sheep, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. So it's basically associated with a personality trait. Your birth year isn't just a bunch of numbers, but rather your birth year is a lot about your personality and your character. So I was born in 1990, which happens to be the year of the rabbit. You were born in the year of rabbit. You are intelligent, you are affectionate and sociable, because that's the personality trait of a rabbit. In the year of the ox, which happens to be this very year, some of your personality traits include physical strength, calmness, and confidence. So to determine what your Chinese zodiac is, you basically use these 12 animals because they just rotate and they don't change that in that order. But if you were born in like January mid up there, you might need to do a little bit more research because that's obviously where the year turns. So comment down below if you know what your Chinese zodiac animal is. Calendar moves in a 12-year rotation cycle, so each year is also represented by an animal. So this practice can be traced back to like 14th century BC. So there are so many myths about how this came about. Legend is it that the Jade Emperor announced that animals are gonna be part of the calendar. So basically he just said like animals are gonna be part of the calendar. 12 animals to get here are going to be selected. So then the red was the first animal to reach there and was selected. Then comes ox, then comes tiger, then rabbit, then goes on and on and on. You hear all about what do people do on Chinese New Year. Okay, maybe let me stop calling it Chinese New Year and rather not trying to be PC or anything, but Chinese New Year is not just celebrated in China. It's an Asian tradition, it's an Asian culture. It's also celebrated in countries like Hong Kong, Singapore, the Philippines. So rather, let's call it Lunar New Year or Spring Festival. Surprisingly, Japan happens to be one of a few Asian countries that do not celebrate Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year is celebrated with fireworks and light shows, and it is also a time for families to reunite. So around this time, most people will go back to their hometowns to be with their family. This is when if people even travel internationally just to go home to celebrate with their families. This is when the biggest pilgrimage in the world happens, which is called Chuan Yun, which means Spring Festival, travel. And everyone is just traveling to their home countries. Big cities basically became like ghost towns because everyone goes back to their hometown, and most business they just close. You are to travel to Asian countries or to China, this particular time of the year happens maybe to not be the very best time to travel, because literally businesses are shut down. There won't be like a lot to see, like the prices they go up. So if you are on a budget, this might probably not be the best time to travel. Obviously right now no one is traveling anywhere because of the pandemic. So there are also many rituals that are done during Chinese New Year. One of them happens to be the ones that happen before, a day before the Chinese New Year, which is called sweeping away the dust. So basically people cleanse their whole house a day before, on the eve of Chinese New Year, to get rid of evil spirits and invite good luck to their family, to their house. And another ritual that is done is people offering sacrifices to their ancestors to basically show them a sign of respect. So this is also done on like New Year's Eve. So they give them offerings of meat and wine so that the ancestors will eat first. I'm not sure if everyone does this kind of ritual. And another ritual that is done is when people burn money just like on the side of the street or anywhere. And it has to be a ritual that is something to do with the ancestors. Maybe it's an offering to kind of for the ancestors to bring them wealth. I am not really sure. One interesting thing that I found out is that on the first day of the Spring Festival, you are not supposed to clean anything. So even if you cook or whatever, the dishes, the house, you are not supposed to clean it, because if you do so, that means that you bring bad or evil spirits to their house. The other holidays, people do some decorations around the house. This is mine. So some people happens to put decorations way before Chinese New Year, like in my school, I think we had decorations like 1st of January. I'm kidding. Other people just put the decorations just on the New Year Eve, and so houses are decorated with red lanterns and paper cutouts and anything like, and the theme is like a red, because apparently red is like symbolizes luck, if I'm not mistaken. The decorations are meant to keep away bad spirits and to play for longevity, blessings, health, peace and wealth. Since 2020 happens to be the year of the ox, there happens to be some images of obviously the ox. So families also gather to share like traditional meals. They have reunion dinner. Meals eaten around this time include but are not limited to fish, noodles, spring rolls, rice cakes, and then each of these foods, rather, it brings something to you. So for example, if you eat dumplings, people eat dumplings for wealth. Wealth happens to be like a great thing around Chinese New Year, and it's also like one of the greetings. Like people literally, when you meet them, they'll be like some of the greetings are like Gong Si Fa Cai, which is like I wish you happiness and wealth. That's like the greetings. There are also like a lot of greetings, but for your ears, please let me not say a lot, because red envelopes also happen to be the greatest thing about Chinese New Year. So like you get lucky money, so you are given like lucky money in red envelopes. They also do it digitally, so every application in China happens to have a function that allows you to send these digital red packets. It's so interesting when you are in group chats and there happens to be a red packet, because everyone is like fighting to grab that piece of that red packet. I always imagine if perhaps in a country like, I don't know, Zimbabwe, red packets are introduced. One, I imagine like, will people even send the red packets, and like the amount of money they would send. And also I imagine the fights in those group chats when people are fighting for those red packets. There's also like a schedule of things that people do during Chinese New Year. I'll insert the image somewhere here so that you can see. The Spring Festival is celebrated for 2 weeks. The last day of the Spring Festival is called the Lantern Festival, and this is on the 26th of February. And on this day, people will send out glowing lanterns into the sky, or floating ones into the sea, to mark the end of the festival, of the Spring Festival. This is called Yuan Xiaojie. Yuan Xiaojie in Chinese. Just in case I didn't already mention, the first day of the Spring Festival was on the 12th of February, and it is called Chuanjie. Okay, I don't find anything funny about any of the stuff that I'm talking about, but my pronunciation and my tones are the things that I find funny. Yuan Xiaojie, this is the Latin festival, and Chinese and Spring Festival is Chuanjie. Chuanjie, is it Chuanjie? Is it Western? Another question you might ask is, do foreigners take part in the celebrations? I think that a lot of people, like foreigners, may obviously not understand the values and the importance of obviously CNY. Chinese is obviously a regular Chinese person would, and yes, people do go out, people do make dumplings if they can, but to celebrate it as a normal regular Chinese person would, what does regular mean? To celebrate is as the locals would, I doubt that much. I got Chinese New Year greetings from my Chinese friends, and like none of my foreign friends would like send me any. I think unless you are very close to like a Chinese family, that's when they will invite you to their family, to their house, to have the Spring Festival celebration experience. And again, this is just my thoughts, but I don't think the foreigners understand it well to actually celebrate it. I hope I answered some of the questions. If you did have questions, if you did have those questions, I just hope I entertained you. And if you didn't know anything about Chinese New Year, I just hope that I taught you something new. And again, feel free to fact check me if there's some things that might be far off, and also if I left something that was very important, please remind me. 新年快乐，or rather 牛年大吉，再见。